very good morning to all our viewers. You're watching Rajya Sabha television and I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. And first up, a quick look at the top headlines of the day. Voting underway for the first phase in Manipur and sixth phase in Uttar Pradesh. 38 seats voting in Manipur and 49 in Uttar Pradesh. President Pranab Mukherjee calls for women's reservation in Parliament, says role of women in country's growth not recognized. Election Commission rejects AIADMK response on Sasikala's elevation, says TTV Dinakaran, who signed reply, not an official bearer as per records. India asks Pakistan to follow international norms after Islamabad seeks more information on alleged spy Kulbhushan JADHAV and refuses to extradite him. And India wins the toss and elects to bat first as they hunt for a win in the second test match against Australia being played in Bengaluru. And first up, all the election news and verdict 2017. Big voting day today. First phase of elections in Manipur and the sixth and penultimate in Uttar Pradesh. First voting is underway in Manipur for the first of the two phases of elections. 38 assembly constituencies covering both the Imphal Valley and the hills are voting in this phase. 168 candidates are in the fray, mainly from the Congress, the BJP, the CPI, CPIM and other political outfits, including Irom Sharmila-led Praja Party. 11 lakh voters in all are eligible to exercise their franchise. Reports coming in say that 21% voting has been registered till 9 a.m. The elections are being held in the backdrop of the economic blockade in the state since November last year. The United Naga Council imposed blockade is against the state government's decision to carve out 7 new districts. And for more on this, we'll go across to our correspondent Akhilesh Suman, who is joining us from Imphal. Akhilesh, today is the first phase of elections in Manipur, which are being held in the backdrop of economic blockade in the state, which has hit Manipur since November last year. What kind of security arrangements do we see made by the Election Commission to ensure the smooth polling in these elections?
See, Smriti, this is really a place where I am standing. This is one of the central places of Imphal, just in front of the Vidhan Sabha Assembly building. And since 7 a.m. in the morning, people have started coming. And behind me, you can see the female voters. Most of the female voters are present here. And you also know that female voters in Manipur is more than the male voters. And enthusiastically, everyone started coming since 7 a.m. and it's a good turnout as far as Manipur is concerned, because Manipur is also known for unrest on the time of election. But this time now, you know that almost all underground organizations have also told the people that they should vote, they should either oppose Congress or whatever, BJP or whatever, but they should go and vote. So this is something, this is one of the most wonderful phases of election in Manipur after many years that is happening. And you know that security arrangement, as far as I have been told by the Chief Electoral Officer that 250, almost 248 companies of paramilitary forces have been deployed, and at least 5 paramilitary forces are there at every booth, other than the police, general state police. So people are coming, they are voting and they are going. So there is no such incident of any conflict. But some sporadic incidents have been reported from some of the booths between Congress and BJP, because you know stakes are very high for Congress in this phase, because this is a phase where Ibobi Singh and Congress government can think of getting maximum number of seats so that they can form the government.
Akhilesh,
but he is also facing anti-incumbency for 3 terms.
Right.
And people charge them of various things, of underdevelopment and all.
Right.
And there is an economic blockade going on in some of the areas in the hills, and that is affecting the whole Imphal Valley. So politics is very strained here, and people are coming and they are strongly expressing their choice in the form of voting. So, you know, that security is in place,
Right.
polling arrangement is in place, and people are coming. So it is a good situation for
21%
everyone,
is-
for election commission, for democracy of the state.
And 21% voting is what has been recorded till 9 a.m. Akhilesh, one more question. What are the core issues in the state which people are voting for this time?
See, this is the time when people are expressing most of the voice against economic blockade. Economic blockade has been called by United Nations Council, you know, for more than 100 years, 100 days have happened, and now scarcity in daily life is being seen. Even in hotels, you will not get everything to eat as you get in normal times. So it is affecting. So economic blockade is the first thing. On this, there are divergence of opinion. One is telling that there should be some negotiation between the state government and the United Nations Council. Some people are telling that center should have been intervened so that economic blockade goes on. BJP tells that it is the prerogative of the state because law and order is in the state's hand, so the state should tackle it. So economic blockade is the major point on which there are differing opinions or people are voting. And other than that, there is a issue of you know, infrastructure development is very bad in this whole state. You will see feel the pinch that even roads in Imphal are not very good and up to the mark. And if you go outside, you will feel very bad about it. And other than that, you know, unemployment is very high in this state, being the far-flung area from Delhi, and it is the border of Myanmar. So there are, you know, the insurgents also take advantage of this situation, and then they attract youth who are unemployed, who are facing scarcity in their daily life. So insurgents get very easy prey among the youth, and they get involved in that, and it becomes lifestyle for many of the youths that in absence of proper employment, they give them a lifestyle, in a respectable lifestyle, and so. But this time now, I am feeling that it is coming down, and even all underground organizations have,
All right, Akhilesh. So what we are getting to understand is, apart from economic blockade and the core issues which the people in Manipur are voting for today is the unemployment and infrastructure development. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for joining us and giving us those input. And moving on to some other developments, polling is also underway in Uttar Pradesh for the 6th phase of elections. 49 seats across 7 districts are voting today. The districts are Azamgarh, Gorakhpur, Balia, Kushinagar, Devariya, Maharajganj and Mau. 635 candidates, including 63 women, are in the fray in this phase. A total of 1.72 crore voters will exercise their franchise today. The BSP is contesting on all 49 seats, while BJP on 45, Samajwadi Party on 40, Congress on 10 and RLD on 36 seats. 11% voting has been registered in this phase till 9 a.m. And for more on this, we'll go across to our correspondent, Shyam Sundar, who is joining us from Azamgarh. Shyam, tell us about the preparations. What are the preparations made to ensure the smooth polling in Azamgarh?
Well, Smriti, as far as preparations are concerned, elaborate arrangements has been made by the Election Commission. 275 sector magistrates have been appointed. These sector magistrates, they travel to different polling booths and polling stations, and they see that everything is going on smooth, and security arrangements at place, and special arrangements has been made for specially abled people. So as far as arrangements are concerned, Election Commission and local administration has done a wonderful job here.
What are the latest updates on polling, what we are getting to know? Till 9 a.m. it was 11%. What is the latest update on elections, on polling?
Well, as far as polling percentage is concerned, you are right that 11% votes were casted till 9 o'clock. In the morning, from 7 o'clock, we've seen long queues on the different polling booths in Azamgarh, especially in urban areas, and also in rural areas. It is reported that huge queues were there in the morning. But after that, somehow the voter turnout has slowed down. But people say that because today is a holiday, and especially women, they have to work, and a lot of people, they are out of town.
Shyam, I would also like to ask you.
Slightly polling has gone down in urban areas as of now. It may pick up as towards evening.
Okay, Shyam, one more question I would like to ask you.
That high, yeah.
Azamgarh has been a stronghold of Samajwadi Party. What are the stakes for Samajwadi Party this time?
Well, as far as Samajwadi Party is concerned, stakes are really high, because they got 9 out of 10 seats in 2012, and even in 2014, Mulayam Singh Yadav, he won the election from Azamgarh, despite Modi wave in Uttar Pradesh, because 71 seats BJP got in 2014, but still Samajwadi Party managed to win this seat. So, but this time it's a triangular fight in Azamgarh, in all the seats, because Bahujan Samaj Party and BJP both have worked on the social equations, and their senior leaders have campaigned hard in these areas. So it's a triangular fight. It is not going to be a cakewalk for Samajwadi Party, but as far as stakes are concerned, you are right, Samajwadi Party has the highest stake.
Thank you so much, Shyam, for joining us and giving us those latest inputs on those developments from Azamgarh. Now we'll go across to our correspondent Kriti Mishra, who is also joining us on phone line from Gorakhpur. Kriti, tell us about the latest status of polling from Gorakhpur.
Well, Smriti, you know, this particular belt of Eastern Uttar Pradesh is ducked backward because of its low economic profile. But remember, the voters here are concerned, are actually considered to be extremely politically aware. And in fact, the Election Commission had put up billboards and signboards everywhere saying, "Sare kaam chhod do, is baar vote do." So rather, voters have taken this particular message very seriously, and since morning only, they've made beelines across polling stations and casting their franchise, and specifically the exuberance among the women voters and the young voters, that is palpable. So definitely, as far as voting percentage is concerned, remember last time around, Smriti, in this particular region, 55.04% voter turnout was recorded. This time around, we expect this voter turnout to go higher. And in fact, we are getting the latest figure from the Election Commission, and around 11% polling has taken place till now. So certainly, people are more aware, people are more conscious about their democratic rights. Smriti?
Thank you so much, Kriti, for joining us on those developments. And campaigning in Uttar Pradesh will continue for the 7th and final phase of elections that will be held on 8th of March. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a rally in Jaunpur. He will also be in his Lok Sabha constituency, Varanasi, from today till the 6th of March to campaign. His first public meeting is scheduled at Kashi Vidyapeeth University. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav will hold a joint road show in Varanasi today. BSP Chief Mayawati is also slated to hold a rally in Varanasi. Akhilesh Yadav will hold a rally in Bhadoi. Home Minister Rajnath Singh is slated to address election meetings in Sonbhadra and Ghazipur. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has ordered registration of an FIR against office bearers concerned of the Manipur BJP. The FIR is for publishing an advertisement without the requisite approval from the certification panel. The Election Commission has also directed the State Chief Electoral Officer to get FIRs filed against 8 newspapers for publishing the election advertisement. While there is no bar on the publication of election advertisement, 48 hours before the polling, a rule introduced by the Election Commission during the Bihar Assembly poll says that such advertisements should be cleared by a certification committee. It states that without approval, no newspaper will publish such advertisements. And with that, it's time for a very short break. On the other side, more news and updates. Stay tuned.
Optical fiber today is our major activity. We have developed an equivalent Indian clay. We export 40% of our production in this country of these tiles, and there is no imported component today in that tile. The savings estimated is around 2,100 crores per year, that too in foreign exchange.
Watch Eureka with Dr. K. Muralidharan, Director, CSIR, Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, only on Rajya Sabha television. Welcome back. While addressing the centenary celebrations of Women's Indian Association in Chennai, President Pranab Mukherjee called for reservation for women in Parliament. Mukherjee said that no society can call itself civilized if it does not honor women. He emphasized that the recognition of women in the country's growth has not been taken into account while calculating the GDP. It reflects the attitude of discrimination of the society. Mukherjee noted that despite equal rights, the representation of women in Lok Sabha is just 11.3% against the global average of 22.8%.
Equal rights in the statute book, in the constitutions, in the instrument of governance, it is completely a different thing. What attitude and approach we have in implementing, in effectively creating the situation so that the letter and spirit of the law are implemented to the fullest extent.
And the Supreme Court has expressed grave concern over farmer suicide due to indebtedness and crop failure. The top court felt the government is going in a wrong direction in tackling the real problem. The court observed the issue is of extreme importance and asked the centre to apprise it of the policy roadmap to address it. The Apex Court also added that paying compensation to the families of victims post facto is not the real solution. This comes after an NGO has filed a PIL in the top court about the government policies on farmers and their suicides. And after a tussle between the centre and the states over certain clauses in the draft bills in the Goods and Services Tax Council meeting last month, the pending supporting legislation is expected to be discussed today. Central GST, Integrated GST and State GST are three crucial legislation to be approved by the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, who heads the GST Council meet. The Council is slated to meet for 2 days, today and tomorrow. If the centre and the states are able to resolve all issues on the first day, the meeting is unlikely to be extended for the second day. On Friday, a technical team of officials from both centre and the states met to discuss views of the Law Ministry, which will be taken up for discussion in the Council's meeting today. The Council will also do a clause-by-clause discussion on State GST bill. The Council will take a final view on the taxation powers of the state with respect to taxation rights over new registrants. The finalization of the draft bill is crucial for ensuring the timely introduction of these bills in the second phase of the budget session of the Parliament, which is scheduled to commence on 9th of March. The Election Commission has refused to accept the reply filed by AIADMK on behalf of imprisoned Party General Secretary V.K. Sasikala. The party's reply is to a plea challenging her appointment as General Secretary. The grounds cited by the poll panel is that the reply was signed by TTV Dinakaran, who is not a party office bearer as per records available with the Election Commission. Dinakaran, who is Sasikala's nephew, was appointed as interim Deputy General Secretary of the party on 23rd of February. The panel has now asked Sasikala to either sign the response herself or by an authorized signatory who is on the Commission's list of AIADMK office bearers and send it again by March 10th. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy, who took the charge of the state last month, convened his first cabinet meeting at the State Secretariat in Chennai yesterday.
The refusal by the Election Commission of India to accept the reply filed by Mr. TTV Dinakaran on behalf of Sasikala, on behalf of what they claim to be the original ADMK party, shows that Election Commission does not recognize the position of Mr. TTV Dinakaran. They say it leaks. Any person conversant with legal procedures would understand that the Election Commission says we don't acknowledge you.
An encounter has broken out between security forces and terrorists at Chilipora village in Shopian district of South Kashmir on Friday night. The gunfight erupted after security forces launched a cordon and search operation in Chilipora village of the district following information about the presence of terrorists in the area. As the security forces were closing in, they came under fire from the terrorists. There are no reports of any casualties so far. The operation is still underway. Meanwhile, Pakistan has asserted that it will not extradite alleged Indian spy Kulbhushan JADHAV and said more information on him has been sought from India. Pakistan Prime Minister's advisor on foreign affairs, Sartaj Aziz, during the question hour sessions in the Senate said a case was being prepared to prosecute the alleged Indian spy. He said a list of questions have been handed over to India. Aziz also claimed that Kulbhushan JADHAV had allegedly confessed his involvement in the militancy. Reacting to Pakistan's claim, India has said Islamabad should follow well-established international practice while dealing with foreign nationals in its custody. India has also rejected Pakistan's claims that JADHAV is a spy. Pakistan had arrested JADHAV in March 2016. He had inadvertently crossed over from Iran and Pakistan. India says JADHAV is a former Indian Navy officer and has not been provided consular access despite repeated requests. India has downplayed its participation in an upcoming meeting in Pakistan to discuss various aspects of Indus Water Treaty. India said that the meeting does not amount to resumption of government-level Indo-Pak talks which have been stalled over terrorist strikes by Pak-based groups. The authorities concerned insisted that the Permanent Indus Commission, which will meet in Lahore later this month, deals with technical matters concerning implementation of the Indus Water Treaty and not with any political aspect. India's participation comes nearly 6 months after New Delhi decided to suspend talks on the pact in the wake of the terror strikes by the groups based across the border. No date has, however, been set for the meeting. The Commission has met 112 times since 1960. Amid growing hate crime and concerns over immigration ban, Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar met foreign U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson at the State Department in Washington, D.C. During the meeting, he conveyed India's concerns on immigration and H-1B visas to several Trump officials and were assured in return that India remains a privileged partner in the Trump era. Jaishankar said that various bilateral issues, including terrorism, Asia-Pacific and Afghanistan, were also discussed in the meeting. Jaishankar also said there was a lot of interest in taking the Indo-US relationship forward. He added that his visit had overall been very productive and the new administration had a very positive view of India. Jaishankar's 4-day visit to US was aimed at sensitizing the Trump administration about India's concerns over the security of Indian nationals in the US, following a possible cut in the H-1B and L-1 visas. A North Korean suspect held by Malaysian authorities in connection with the death of King JONG-NAM arrived in Beijing this morning after being released and deported from Kuala Lumpur. Ri Jong-kol was released from Malaysian police custody due to insufficient evidence. Cole has alleged that he was the victim of a conspiracy by the Malaysian authorities and that his detention was a plot to damage the honor of North Korea. Malaysian authorities are continuing their investigation into the death of King Nam, the estranged half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. 2 women have so far been charged with murdering Kim, who died just minutes after a toxic nerve agent was wiped on his face at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. The murder has soured relations between Malaysia and North Korea, which had maintained friendly ties for decades.
고달프고 힘들었습니다. 그러나 나는 견뎌야 된다. 너놈들이 감히 우리 공화국의 존엄을 헛죽겠다고 하는데 공화국의 국민인 내가 거기에 발을 맞출 수 있냐?
And 12 civilians have been injured in MOSUL in Iraq in what appears to be the first chemical weapon attack in the battle for the IS stronghold. Doctors say the hospitals in the area have been admitting patients showing clinical symptoms consistent with an exposure to a blistering chemical agent. The injuries were apparently caused in two separate incidents when motor fire hit houses in East Mosul and victims complained of a foul-smelling chemical. It is not yet known who is to be blamed for the attack, but the mortars were apparently fired from the West Mosul, which is still being held by IS. The developments come as rapidly increasing flow of people is pouring out of Western Mosul, fleeing fierce battles between Iraqi security forces and the IS fighters. The use of chemical weapon is forbidden under the international law. IS have long been suspected of making and using crude chemical weapons in territory it controls in Iraq and neighboring Syria. On to some sports news now. The second test match between India and Australia has begun at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. India have won the toss and elected to bat first. KL Rahul and Cheteshwar Pujara are at the crease. India have made two changes. M. Vijay did his shoulder in Pune. So Abhinav Mukund is the opener and India have dropped Jayant Yadav for an extra batsman in Karun Nair. In the first test match held at Pune, Indians lost by 333 runs in a stunning defeat which ended their 19-match unbeaten streak. Both the sides are looking to strengthen their position in the 4-match series. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. See you again tomorrow, same time. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.